Hi, my name is Russell Axford. I'm the head of executive search at Clarity Recruitment. Today we have a good friend, Dave Badun, CFO of Blue Rush. Dave, thanks for coming on today.
Hey, Russ, thanks very much for having me.
What would you say the biggest challenges were when you first started in your role as CFO at Blue Rush?
The biggest challenge for me when I joined Blue Rush was really where to start. So once I got the lay of the land, I prepared a 30, 60, 90-day plan that I reviewed and signed off with the CEO. And I remember I broke it out not only by time, but by category. And the categories that I broke it out into were strategy, accounting, projects, and other.
Sure.
And I felt that given that I was brought into the finance department to build it out and to help the company grow in its transformation, these buckets served as a good guideline. And then from there, it was a matter of determining the major areas to be tackled in order to be successful. So those included things like setting up various processes. So weekly reporting on KPIs, which I still bring to the senior management team every Monday morning. Evaluating the current systems and procedures and how to improve upon them. So I talked about replacing our payroll software and accounting software. Finding cost savings opportunities was another big one. So once I was able to agree on the objectives with the CEO and what I felt we needed to do and get that buy-in, we were able to execute on that, and that was critical. So plan in place, team then got to work. And certainly along the way, we had our fair share of curveballs that were thrown at us, of course, which is to be expected in a business like ours, in that sort of startup phase that I talked about. One of the biggest side projects or curveballs was co-leading the sale of our digital reach asset to a company called Broadridge for $2.3 million. So this was a transaction that not only included IP, but it also included customers that we sold to, and we had a white labeled version of the product that was sold. And so there was a lot of work that went into how we would actually structure the sale, and that was finalized in September of 2019. This was the entire Blue Rush team is incredibly proud of that transaction because it demonstrates the quality of the software that Blue Rush is able to produce. But at the same time, it certainly derailed a bunch of projects that I had on the go. But
Sure.
It is, by and large, a great achievement for Blue Rush and something that has advanced our organization.
Dave, from my understanding, there's been significant changes in Blue Rush's positioning in the market over the last 3 years. Can you take a moment and explain to me a little bit more about your business model?
Yeah, absolutely. So Blue Rush is actually a really interesting story. It is a 15-year-old publicly traded company. And it obtained a fresh round of financing from a venture capital firm, Round 13 Capital, and a new CEO in late 2017. At that point, it really became what I like to describe as a 12-year-old startup. The company had really been operating in a one-time services revenue, building online tools and online calculators for financial institutions in Canada. And our CEO, Steve Taylor, and Round 13 identified IndiVideo, which is our flagship product, to be ripe for the SaaS model. So IndiVideo is an interactive, personalized video platform that we sell predominantly to financial institutions who are looking to engage more with their customer base. So for example, rather than simply receiving a PDF pension statement in your email, IndiVideo will send you an interactive, personalized video that details, for example, how much you've contributed to your pension, how the fund has performed, how much monthly income you'll have when you retire, etc. And then it'll ask you a series of questions. So it'll ask you things like, do you think that you have enough when you retire? Yes, no. How much do you think that you'll need when you retire? And depending on the results of those questions, it'll modify the remaining portion of the video. So it's kind of similar to a choose your own adventure. So the business model has changed pretty drastically in that it's a different product that we offer and a different way of selling it in the SaaS model versus a one-time revenue stream.
Dave, you mentioned a moment ago the organization is quite unique, where it's been in existence for several years. However, it still has operated uniquely like a startup in the past couple of years with all the significant changes that's happened. Can you walk me through the evolution of the finance function from so-called the startup to build phase?
Yeah, certainly. So given Blue Rush's unique background, as I talked about before, there hasn't necessarily been that linear progression that you would typically see in that startup to growth phase. And my journey at Blue Rush has really been one of a turnaround story, pivoting from one-time revenue to recurring revenue, growing the individual platform, educating the market about what interactive personalized videos are, continuing to service our existing line of business, which is that one-time revenue building online tools and calculators that I mentioned, and lots in between. So given what the business has done, the finance function has also changed throughout that journey to support the business as it transitions from one phase to the next, or as it looks to take on different elements within the business. So a large part of what has changed within finance specifically is the degree to which we support operational. So I talked about this before, some of the strategic elements as well as the tactical elements in working with our partners in sales and within project management. So we tend to wear a lot of hats. And I think that's one of the critical things that a finance department, especially in sort of this startup, the growth phase, can do, is really being able to be versatile, be able to wear a lot of hats, as I said before, and really be able to be viewed as both a thought partner and not just a quote unquote bean counter. You're coming to the table and you're being able to offer that finance lens that everyone's looking for you to offer up, but you're also offering up a tremendous amount of operational expertise.
Dave, from your experience, how did you establish trust with your CEO so that he trusted you to kind of be that sober second voice in the room from finance?
Yeah, great question. So Steve and I have a great relationship. Steve is sort of that true entrepreneurial, been there, done that. He started companies and sold them. He's been part of organizations that have grown rapidly. He has been on boards. He's, as I said, he's been there, done that. So in order to establish that level of trust, it was really coming to the table and helping him understand what values I could add and what experiences I've had that could help him take his foot off of the gas from a finance perspective so he could focus on growing the business, whether that's through sales or whether that's through ensuring that the product is on the right trajectory. So enabling that trust was key from day one. And really what that is always coming to the table, nothing that no one's ever heard of before, but coming to the table, being well prepared, knowing what you are talking about, having a good understanding of the business, which is, again, lending to wearing those different hats and being able to be a thought partner across the whole institution. And so it's really being able to step back and have a very good foundational understanding of the finance and what he's looking for and why he's looking for it, anticipating those questions, and then having that good sense of what's going on in the rest of the business. And I think those are the critical elements to developing trust.
When you look at a high growth environment, there's certain soft skills or qualities of individuals that allow them to be more successful than others. In your opinion, from your experience, what are those qualities?
Great question. I really think empathy is the thing that's coming to mind. If you can put yourself in someone else's shoes and understand either where they're having challenges or how they will best react if you give them a situation, giving people the tools to be able to be successful, I think you will go a long way. Having that empathy and being able to put yourself in someone else's shoes is not only a good life skill to have, but it also really helps when it comes to business because of exactly what I just said. You'll be able to anticipate where they might be struggling and how you can preempt that and give them the tools in order to be successful. If you are asking someone to do something, chances are that it's going to help you as well. And so if you can be empathetic and understand how to best help them be successful, then you will all be more successful as a result.
Very humble. Dave, thanks so much for coming on today.
Much appreciated, Russ, and best of luck with Behind the Numbers. Thank you so much for having me. I very much appreciate it.